Hello and welcome to episode 121 of the Giddy Knits podcast. It's been a while. As always, I am Helen and I am coming to you from Dundee in Scotland, where I live with my husband Tom and my two boys, Arthur, who is 8, and Jasper, who is 5. The schools have just gone back here in Scotland, so I am once again back in an empty house after 6 weeks of school holidays. It feels lovely. We had a very nice school holiday. We got lots done, we had lots of family time, but it's always nice to get that peace and quiet back again, isn't it, once they go back to school. So, yeah. Hello. Welcome back, anyone who is a regular viewer, and I'm so sorry for the massive break that there's been. It's definitely been a little bit chaotic over the last few months with the garage conversion and the summer holidays and everything, so I've really got out of the routine of recording a podcast properly. But it's nice to be back, so yeah, thank you for sticking with me and waiting for me to finally get an episode out for you. And hello to anyone that's new and checking out the video for the first time as well. It's always nice to have new people. What have I got for you? My show notes are in a really awkward place, so I'm going to keep, maybe I'll move that a little bit closer. I'm going to keep glancing down for my show notes. So it's going to be probably quite a long one because obviously it's been a long time since I've recorded, and although I've not finished anything massive, I've got a fair few things to kind of share with you and some progress on stuff to talk about. And generally when I've not podcasted for quite a while, I tend to kind of talk more anyway. So yeah, make sure you've got yourself a nice hot drink. I've got one right here. And a nice, well, maybe not a hot drink, depends where you are and whether it's hot, or just make yourself comfy. That's kind of what I'm trying to say. So I've got a quick announcement section at the beginning. I'm going to talk about a few make-alongs and just update you a little bit on a few bits and pieces. Then I have got some finished objects to talk about. I've also going to have a little section of kind of works in progress, what I've been working on, that kind of thing. I've got a bit of Yarny Goodness to share. And then I'll finish off, as always, with a little bit of shop news as well at the end. Okay, so let's start with announcements then, shall we? First of all, I am very, very late in announcing winners for the Giddy Yarns Make-Along for quarter 2, because quarter 2 ended in June and it is now August. So I have gone back through those posts, which was a little bit tricky because unfortunately Ravelry and Mighty Networks don't give you dates on posts. They just give you how long ago the post was published. So I think I've worked it out. I certainly started from the right point because I went back through my show notes and found which Ravelry ones it was. Anyway, hopefully it's fine. But we had not that many entries this time. I think because I've not been podcasting as regularly, it's kind of just lost a little bit of momentum. So don't forget that I run a ongoing make-along, the Giddy Yarns Make-Along, which is available to enter through Ravelry, Instagram, or in our Mighty Networks group. It's all linked down underneath the video, because basically you can enter any finished object that you have that uses at least 50% of my yarn, and if you do enter, then you are in with a chance of winning a prize. I draw 2 prize winners every quarter, and basically you get your choice of something from the shop. That's kind of how it works. It's kind of my little thank you back to all of my customers. So yeah, although obviously you don't have to have purchased the yarn, you could have gifted it, we could have received it as a gift or in a swap or something like that. So yeah, that's my little make-along. But yeah, it seems to be slowing down a little bit over the summer. So I think a lot of that's because I haven't been podcasting as regularly, but I thought I would just remind you. But I have drawn winners. And actually, the winners all came from Instagram this time. We had 7 entries in the Ravelry group. We had 1 in Mighty Networks and we had 14 in Instagram, and I just used a random number generator to pick 2 random winners from that combination, and both of them were Instagram entries. So the first winner is Nikki, and I will pop your Instagram usernames on the screen so that you can confirm that it's definitely you. But Nikki knit a gorgeous pair of socks using my Rapunzel colourway. Nikki is doing she collected all of my Grimm's fairy tale yarns from the Once Upon a Yarn Club last year. She collected all of them last year, and this year she's been knitting a pair of socks with them each month, and she's also been knitting a little mini gnome that matches. It's so cute. I love seeing them pop up on Instagram. I love the idea of my yarn becoming matching socks and gnomes. So yeah, she knit a sock, a pair of socks and a little mini gnome out of my Rapunzel colourway, which is super cute. And the second winner is Becky. And Becky has been knitting my Beatrix Potter collection up this year, and it was her Tom Kitten socks that actually won her the prize. If you want to see a really good examples and photographs of all of my Beatrix Potter collection, all of the Beatrix Potter Club colourways so far this year, knit up, then I would highly recommend having a quick look at Becky's Instagram, because she's been taking beautiful photographs with them, with all of the Beatrix Potter books as well, and she's knitting them much faster than I am, so that's definitely the best place to see it. But congratulations, both of you. Please get in touch. I know you both know how to get in touch with me, so get in touch and we will sort out your prize, yeah. Congratulations. So that is that one. Oh gosh, I feel out of practice. What else did I need to say? Make-alongs, talking about make-alongs in general, September is creeping up. It is not long now until the beginning of September, and I am bringing back the annual Halloween make-along. This is a make-along. This will be, oh gosh, I did look it up and now I've forgotten. This will be its 4th or 5th year running. I can't quite remember. But yeah, I've been running this Halloween make-along for absolutely ages, and I love it. Basically, as long as whatever project you're working on can be related in some way to Halloween or horror, then it's eligible for an entry. And works in progress are absolutely fine, as long as they're less than 50% complete when we start on the 1st of September, that's absolutely fine. Your project needs to be finished by the 31st of October. And we usually have quite a lot of prizes up for grabs. I have got a couple of prizes left from last year because they didn't get claimed. So I've kept them nice and safe, and I will be offering those up as prizes again this year. So make sure you pay attention when I'm announcing prizes, because otherwise, yeah, your prize might not get claimed and you'll miss out. But as always, if there are any makers watching this and you would like to donate prizes to the Halloween make-along, then that would be amazing. I always am very grateful. I obviously put up prizes myself as well, so there'll be Giddy Yarns prizes too, but it usually ends up being one of my, well, my make-alongs are never massive, but this is one of the bigger ones. So yeah, and as always, you'll be able to enter it on Ravelry, on Mighty Networks, and on Instagram. I will put all the details down underneath this video. There'll be a thread over in the Ravelry group, and I'll also try and get posts put up in the next week or so, in the lead up to September. I'll get posts put up in Mighty Networks and on Instagram to kind of give you all the details. I'm losing my voice already, that's not good, is it? To give you all the details, but I thought I'd give you all a heads up. So yeah, 1st of September to the 31st of October, the Halloween make-along is coming back. I have some more Halloween stuff to talk about at the end of the episode, so I will leave that till then. What else did I want to say? I'm looking down at my show notes thinking, what else did I want to say? I can't for the life of me remember. I'm sure there was something else. I don't know. Anyway, one other thing I did want to say is I'm going to be moving the podcast just for to ease myself back into it because it's obviously been a while, and I've also been really busy and I haven't had as much time to knit. So I'm going to just try switching to a 2-weekly schedule for the podcast, just to see how it goes, and if I can make a bit more time and do a bit more knitting in between it and things like that as well. So there won't be a podcast next week, but there will be one the week after. So yeah, just gonna move to a 2-weekly podcast schedule just for a little while. Yeah, as I go through the next few months, because they're going to be busy as well. I've got all of the advents. I'm sort of prepping towards Glasgow and all of that kind of thing. Talking of shows, Perth Festival of Yarn is coming up on the, oh goodness, is it the 10th and 11th? That's not good. See, it's because I'm saying stuff that I didn't do in my show notes. I should have thought about this in advance. I am just going to go straight to their Instagram and hope they've got their dates for the Perth Festival of Yarn in the Instagram. They do. It is the 10th and 11th of September. I am not vending at Perth this year. I've said this a number of times and all over the place, but I didn't apply this year because we were having such a busy family summer holiday, which we had, and it was lovely, and I'm very grateful for the fact that I made that decision, because otherwise I would be absolutely frantic and panicking at the moment. But I am going to be there. I am a Perth podcaster, so I will have my lovely podcaster lanyard on when you see me walking around, and I will also be helping out Laura, who is the dyer behind Athis Yarns, and she's vending at Perth for the first time this year. So I will be on her stall helping her out, so come and say hello there. I am going to be vending at Glasgow School of Yarn at the end of October. So yeah, if you want to find me at a Scottish yarn show, then that's going to be the best place to find me. And I will put details of both of those shows in the show notes so you can work out where to get tickets and when they are and things like that. Glasgow is the last weekend in October. Right, I've rambled enough now. I've rambled for probably gone 10 minutes. So shall I actually get into some knitting content and things like that? Right, we'll start with some finished objects. I do have a few finished objects. There is nothing massive, because everything I've been working on has been kind of samples and small things. But I did get Tom's May sock finished. So again, if you've been watching the podcast for a while, you'll know that this year I am doing colour of the month colours through the shop. So each month I've been taking an inspiration using the Wombo Art app, which is like an artificial intelligence generated artwork, and I've been putting in the month as the keyword and picking an art style and using that image to inspire my colour of the month. And I've been knitting a pair of socks, well, not a pair, I've been knitting a single sock for Tom out of each of those colours, and he's going to have a whole box of odd socks at the end of the year because he wears odd socks anyway. That's just his fashion choice. So I have finished the May sock. My sock blockers, these do not fit on my sock blockers because Tom's feet are much bigger than mine. So this is the May colour of the month colourway. I could not decide after I dyed this colourway. I couldn't decide whether I wanted to do the green or the pink for the contrast mini. So in the end, what I actually did is I did a 10-gram mini of the green and a 10-gram mini of the pink. And yeah, that was, I really like it. So if I'd been knitting a pair, what I probably would have done is I probably would have done a pink cuff and a pink toe on one and a green heel, and then on the other I would have reversed it. So I would have done a green cuff and toe and then a pink heel. That would have worked really well with the 10-gram minis. But yeah, there we go. One finished colour of the month sock. I'm slightly behind. I am currently working on both the June and July colour of the month socks. That's pretty much all I took on holiday with me. But I'm trying to work out where to put this now. Pop it over there. But I haven't finished either of them, and I have dyed up the August colourway. I dyed that up this week, so that will be coming to the shop relatively soon. While we're on the topic of socks, I have finished, now I've forgotten which way round these go. I'm going to have to look on the thing. Oh look, I wrote it down. That was clever of me. Okay, so this was the May, so that must be June. I have also finished the Beatrix Potter little samples that I've been knitting. So I'm going to show these anyway because everybody should have all of their quarterly ones because we're in another quarter now and I'm not up to date. So this is the, oh see now I've got that wrong. No, that's the May. Which ones have I got here? April. Oh, I don't know. Anyway, this is the Flopsy Bunnies, which I think was January, February, March. I think this might have been April's colour of the month, and I've got this might be April's Beatrix Potter Club. And I'm not 100% sure whether I've shown you this one. I think I was working on this one last time and I've since finished it. I'm not 100% sure. I obviously didn't do very good show notes this time. But yeah, so this is the Flopsy Bunnies. And then I've also finished my little sample for the May colourway, which was the Tale of the Pie and the Patty Pan. This actually might be my favourite of the lot so far. Oh, I've got it stuck. I've got it attached to me. Oh, so out of practice and doing such a bad job. So here we go. This is the colourway for the Tale of the Pie and the Patty Pan. I really, really love how this one came out. I'm so pleased with them. I was a little bit worried initially when I saw them in the skein. I was a little bit worried that these two colourways were a bit similar. And I was a bit worried that when I sort of sent them out, I was a bit worried that people were going to think they were really similar. But actually, once they're knitted up, you can really see the differences. There's a lot more grey in this one. And obviously, you've got kind of the pink speckles, whereas this one doesn't really have any grey in, and it's got the more kind of purple and orangey speckles in there. So I'm very pleased with both of them. So yeah, I'm currently working on the June one, I think. Yes, because that's May. I'm currently working on the June one, so I'll share that in a minute. And again, similarly to what I'm doing with Tom's socks, I'm knitting myself just a shorty sock out of each of the colour of the months, and then I'll have a whole load of odd shorty socks at the end of the year. So that's those ones. What else have I finished? While we're on the topic of clubs, I've also got the April and May Middle Earth mini clubs. Middle Earth mini clubs? Yeah. That came out strangely. Which were the start of the Fellowship of the Ring. So this was the April one. So I'm getting a bit blown out. I think the light's a bit too close behind me. Just trying to work out lighting and stuff like that, but I think I'm gonna have to rethink it slightly. But this is the April, so this was the start of the Fellowship of the Ring. So we had an unexpected party, Galadriel, I think, or was that, oh goodness, that's not good, is it? Mirkwood, Frodo, or maybe it was Rivendell. It might have been Rivendell actually. And then the Black Riders. And then we had the second one, which was Isildur's Bane, or the One Ring. Then we had, I think that one was Galadriel. Oh, what was that one? That was the Fellowship of the Ring. That one was Sauron. And then that one, oh, it's not good off the top of my head, is it? What else was in that? I can't remember now. Nope, I can't remember. I can't remember at all. Anyway, April and May. So yeah, I really need to start joining these. I think I'm going to try and make that one of my goals over the next few weeks, is to actually start joining them. Because that would be good, wouldn't it, to actually start getting a blanket created out of them. My plan, and I can't remember if I've said this before, my plan is to not border them, but I want to use a joining technique that will give me like a thin colour ridge in between, which I'm pretty sure I've done before. I just need to find another, I just need to have a little look and find the details for how to do it. I did have a look in a couple of my crochet books that have got kind of different crocheted squares and stuff like that in, but unfortunately they didn't have any kind of joining techniques beyond kind of the basic kind of ones that give you a border and stuff like that. So I need to have a little look. I know I've seen something in crochet where you crochet them together and then you get like a ridge or a line of the colour in between, but you don't border the whole thing. So I need to have a little look and find that, and I still haven't got around to doing it. So again, there's still a few more things that I finished. I finished another block of the colour of the Colour Therapy Club. So I can't remember which month this was, but this was the blues, and I've moved on now to the kind of purples ones, which I'll show you in a little bit. So that's getting there slowly. These have been quite good when I've just needed something quick and easy to kind of pick up and get on with. That's the yarn, I didn't say actually, the colour of the month, the Colour Therapy Club is a yarn by Erin, who is Henny Penny Makes, and she does little colour packs each month, and they're absolutely gorgeous. She does the most amazing minis. Erin will be vending at Perth actually, so yeah. And then the other things I finished are, I'll do this one first. I finished my first spinning. So if you've been around a while, you know that I picked up last year, just after Perth, I picked up a little e-spinner, an electric eel e-spinner, and I've been kind of practicing on it and working my way up to kind of spinning some bits and pieces. And I've been spinning for quite a while. I've been spinning up the kind of a sort of sample, a little mini sample bat that came with my drop spindle that I was gifted a while back. And I finally finished it. So here it is. I haven't actually weighed this, so I've got no idea kind of how much is there. And I haven't worked out like wraps per inch or anything to work out what I've got, because it's so uneven, it's not worth it. I mean, there are sections in here that are probably going to be kind of pretty bulky. And then there are also sections in here which are probably going to be kind of almost 4-ply. So I don't think it really matters at this stage. But I'm really, really happy with it. Let's see if I can get you a nice close-up on the camera so you can see. It's just, I think, I don't, again, terminology with spinning is not great, but I'm pretty sure it's just a 2-ply. I basically I did 2 bobbins, and then I just plied them both together really, really simply. But I really enjoyed doing it, and I love the effect. I love this. I have no idea what I'm going to do with it. I need to kind of have a little think about what project I could do that would really show it off, but also wouldn't really matter. Part of me is tempted to use it for like the body of a gnome or something like that. I don't know. Something that would be decorative, if that makes sense. But I don't know, it'll probably just sit in my stash for a while. What I do want to do is wind it into a slightly longer skein so that I can actually twist it, because it's too short to twist at the moment. But that's not a problem, I need to do that. I have washed it and given it a bit of a soak and kind of stretched it out, and that seems to have made a big difference. So hopefully I've done everything right. But yeah, I'm really pleased with it. And I have started another one. I haven't got it to show you today, but I will show you once I've got a bobbin finished, because that's a bit easier than trying to hold up my, than holding up the e-spinner. So yeah, I will show you that when I've got a bobbin finished. And I'm going to have a slurp of tea before it goes absolutely freezing cold. Yeah, it's pretty cold now anyway. I do have one other finished object. Talking of gnomes, I have a finished gnome. He has been idling for absolutely ages. I'd finished the hat quite early on. I managed to get the hat done sort of while everything was still a mystery, and then I just stopped basically, and I just didn't pick it up. And then when we got back from holiday the other day, I picked it up and I just did it. It's so quick. They're always so ridiculously quick when you actually sit down and do it. So I did the body and I did the beard and the nose, and then I was like, oh right, I need to go to bed now. I'll have to pick it up again tomorrow. And then I realised he doesn't have any arms. So I was literally at the point of assembling him. So I just assembled him. But he's super cute. I love the shape. I love this bottom, this kind of quite squat bottom. The colour work on the hat, it's lovely at the front, but I struggled around the edges, so it has got quite a kind of ridge round the edge, but I don't mind that, to be honest. It works quite well with the shape, so I don't think it really matters. The colour work around the bottom was relatively simple, so that seems to have worked out okay without me pulling too much. And I love the beard. I actually added a 4th colour for the nose and the beard. I don't know if you can kind of tell there, because I wanted a slightly lighter colour for the beard so that it didn't just wash into the hat much. So I went for a slightly lighter colour, and the way she does the beard is she actually gets you to use I think it was 2 strands of the lighter colour and 1 strand of the darker colour. So I went for the same colour as the hat as the darker colour, and you knot all the ends of that darker colour in the beard. And then I put the lighter colour in as well, and I'm really pleased with how he came out. I believe there's another one starting, is it September? I can't remember, but you know I'll be doing it. I always do the gnomes. So yeah, he needs a photograph, and then he needs to go on the mantelpiece with everyone else. In fact, I really have to. I will try and insert a video of our slightly ridiculous gnome forest that's developing in the lounge. When we were putting everything back and kind of organising the space after the garage conversion had been done, the gnomes had been taken down, and we'd moved a Kallax into the lounge, and the gnomes were all just sitting in a box waiting for a place to find. And I came down one day and Tom had arranged some of our houseplants and all the gnomes on the top of this sort of horizontal Kallax unit in the lounge, and we all kind of love it, and it's ridiculous and it's a little bit crazy, but we absolutely love it. So yeah, I will try and pop a little video in now to kind of show you the gnome forest. But yeah, he will be joining his friends in the gnome forest, and I'm very, very pleased with him. The colours I used, these were, when I was dyeing up my library self-striping colourway, I did a test run using some 20-gram minis, and these were 4 of the colours from that test run, basically. I just grabbed the 20-gram minis that I had and put the colours together, so he came out really nicely. Right. What is next? I think that's everything that I finished. So yeah, lots of little things, lots of sample stuff. I was saying this to Tom actually. I feel like this year I've not finished anything kind of big and exciting very much for me in other people's yarn, because I've kind of got into that thing of I've been doing all of the Beatrix Potter samples, and I've also been doing all of the Colour of the Month samples and crocheting up the Middle Earth minis. That's kind of ended up being the focus of my knitting. So although that's lovely, because previous years I've not knit enough with my yarn, so I'm definitely knitting a lot more with my yarn, which is really nice. I also feel like I've not really been able to focus on any big projects because of that. So yeah, I need to have a little... I need to find that balance, finding that balance between knitting with my own yarn and knitting with yarn in my stash from other dyers that I love is really, really hard. Right, so what am I actually working on? I've got quite a few bits and pieces to share actually, because I've been working on a few bits here and there. The thing that's had the most work is the Colour of the Months for June and July, because I took these with me on holiday. So this one is July's Colour of the Month, and again these are just socks for Tom. So this is July's Colour of the Month, which is knitting up really nicely. This one's actually ready for a heel. I just haven't put the heel in yet, and the heel is going to be, where is the, so that's the colour for the heel. So I need to put that in. And that will be the heel and toe in the kind of bright orange colour that matches those speckles. So that one is coming along. I think I might actually sit down this afternoon and put that heel in, because then I can just power down the foot a bit more. Does anyone else do that? Get to the heel and then kind of hesitate and leave it and not put the heel in? Dreadful for that. And then I've also been working on the June Colour of the Month. Basically, these both went in the shop at the same time, so I had to cast on little swatches so that I could take photographs for the shop. And then, so then I ended up with them both cast on at the same time. But this is the June Colour of the Month. I really, really love this one. I'm so pleased with how this one came out. And this one has fuchsia pink for the heel and toes. Although I've got a bit of a way to go. I'm about 2/3 of the way down the leg of this sock. So I've got a bit of a way to go before I have to put the heel in on that one. Both June and July colour of the month are actually, I've still got a fair bit in the shop. So if you see them and you go, oh, I really like that one, they are going to be in the shop. Somebody was asking me whether I'm going to keep doing the colour of the month next year. And I'm not. I think I want to do something similar. I really enjoy it because it gives me a chance to experiment. It's a really kind of low pressure thing because it doesn't go up as a mystery. And also because I just get to use an inspiration picture to dye something from, and then I just stick it in the shop. There's no like deadlines, like, okay, I need to get it done in the month, but it doesn't really matter. So I quite enjoy it. It's a good kind of opportunity to experiment and to try new things. And yeah, I'm really enjoying it. So I think I will carry on doing something similar next year, but I think instead of using the Wombo art thing, which is, it's gone from being a really easy to use kind of free app to suddenly they're bringing in like premium stuff, and you can only get this bit if you pay this amount of money, and you can, so it's got a bit overly complicated. So I think I'll use it for the rest of the year, and then that'll be it. But I will do something similar next year with, I'll pick an inspiration image and then work from that, basically. I'm not going to do it like a club. I know I've had a couple of questions about whether you could sign up for 3 months and whether I could do it like a club. I'm not going to do it like a club because that puts a bit of pressure on it. And I will have clubs running next year as well. So if you are international, then by all means get in touch and I'll work out something where if you want me to ship it every 3 months, you can do. You just have to order it and that's fine. But I won't be generally running it like a club because I don't want to put it on a pre-order basis, basically. I just want to be able to dye it and put it in the shop because that's kind of what I've enjoyed about it. I hope that makes sense. Anyway, let's keep talking knitting, shall we? What else? I'm trying to think about what's next to me and I can't remember what's in the things. Let's do some more socks, shall we? Oh goodness, I I put this on my show notes to show you and I've just realised quite how little I've knit on them. So this is the June colour of the month. No, the June Beatrix Potter Club. But I've only actually just cast on that much of it. So there really isn't much to show you, is there, at all? Really isn't. This is the colourway. Again, like I said earlier, if you hop on over to Becky's Instagram, which I will pop on the screen again now, she's finished her June Beatrix Potter socks and they look amazing and it's really nice to see how they knit up. I haven't. So yeah, I need to get on with those. But this is the Jeremy Fisher colourway. I'm really pleased with this one, actually. I'm really pleased with the with how it came out. I'm pleased with all of them. I'm really enjoying the Beatrix Potter Club, actually. I'm definitely going to be bringing a lot of them back, if not all of them back, as a collection next year sometime, because I just love the colours. And we'll stick to the socks for the moment. I have finished, although I've left all these ones on the sock blockers, so I don't have sock blockers now. I have finished, I'm going to drop the sock blockers, my first Yuletide sock. Finally, I mean, these have been on the needle since the beginning of the year, and I'd said to you that I was going to have kind of my plain socks on the go for the samples, and then I was going to have a patterned sock out of somebody else's yarn on the go. And I have a feeling that these might have been one of the first pattern socks that I cast on for that idea, and I've only just finished the first sock. So yeah, they've taken a while, haven't they? But here they are. When I last showed them to you, I was just here where this little stitch marker is, so I didn't have much more to go on this one. These are a pattern by Suzanne of Green Lambkin Yarns, and as I said, they're called the Yuletide socks. They've got this fantastic kind of mock cable stitch pattern with lace as well, and I love this cabled top. Well, it's not actually a cable, it's like a mock cable, but I really like how that worked. I did change the pattern a little bit. I had to, what did I do? I did a plain back on the leg of the sock to start with. Oh, postman I think is just about to deliver a parcel, so we might have to stop for a second. Okay, interrupted by the postman. Delivering some minis for the charity Advent collaborations from Lola at Third Volt Yarns. I've not opened them yet, so I haven't actually seen them, but I'm looking forward to opening those up. What was I saying about this sock? So, as I was saying, this is a pattern by Suzanne, who is Green Lambkin Yarns, and it's the Yuletide socks. I had to change the pattern a little bit. I did a plain back, whereas the pattern is written for the pattern to go all the way around the sock, but I prefer having a plain back on my socks. And because I do 68 stitches, and not 64 stitches, I also had to just add a stitch in at either side of the kind of pattern panel, if that makes sense. But that was fine. It wasn't overly complicated to do that, and it's not kind of affected the overall look of the sock. So yeah, I'm really, really pleased with how this has come out. I need to knit the second one, obviously. I'm hoping, actually, what day is it? Thursday. Oh yeah, and hopefully I will get this cast on this afternoon or this evening. Something like that would be really good. I just need to get it cast on, otherwise I'm going to get stuck and not cast it on. Having said that this was yarn by somebody else, it isn't yarn by somebody else, I dyed this, but this is the colourway that I dyed at the Wool Lay Retreat in December last year. So I dyed it for me and not for the shop, so it still feels like special yarn. So yeah, I'm really, really pleased. I've finally got one of those finished, but I must cast on the second one. If I have not cast on the second one by the time I next podcast, you all need to tell me off. Because yeah, I really, 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 really need to get that cast on. Otherwise I will just stall. Okay, other things. I was saying about the colour therapy block. I have started my next colour therapy block. I've not got very far into it. I'm just on the second square. So this is the first one, and I'm just midway through the second square. And these are the little bobbins I get. I get the 5-gram bobbins that she does. She offers the colour therapy as like a variety of options, but yeah, I do the little scrappy 5-gram ones, which are brilliant. And I'm getting there. So this month is the purples. So these are, is it indigos? Hang on, it tells me on the thing. Indigo, this is the indigo ones. So those are the colours that I've got in there for this month. So that will be the next block. So yeah, it's coming on slowly. These are actually also, these are the colours from last year. I have also signed up to the Colour Therapy Club for this year because I want to make my blanket bigger. So instead of having 12 blocks this size, I want to have 24 blocks this size so that my blanket is bigger. But I'm still working on last year's. Indigo is the August one. So I'm over halfway through the first year of it. And I do enjoy it. It's just time nowadays. It's just time. I kind of thought, well, I guess just with the kids both being at school and my business having grown, I'm working pretty much full time and I just don't get as much time to knit as I used to, which is a shame. But that's life, isn't it? That's life. Right, I'm going to check my show notes quickly because I can't remember if there were other things. I've showed you those, and those. Oh yeah, just these two that I've added at the last minute. So you'll know that I've got a couple of garments on the go at the moment. I've picked up this one recently. I've not done a lot of work on it because the rows are quite long at the moment because I'm still in the kind of yoke section. But this is my Mama cardigan, which is just, I love it so much. And when I do pick it up and work on it, I really enjoy it. I think the last time I shared this with you, I was where that little progress keeper is. So I really haven't done much. I've just been kind of picking it up in the afternoons once I've finished my dyeing for the day, but before I've got to pick the kids up from school. If I've not got anything else on, which at the moment I don't. Next week I will, because I'll be packing the yarn clubs and that takes up most of the day. But because I'm just dyeing them at the moment, it gives me a little bit more freedom to have a little bit of time to knit, which is quite nice. But yeah, I've picked this up and I love it. I'm using my Through the Wardrobe colourway, and I'm loving how this is knitting up. I'm alternating skeins, and because this is a cardigan, it's quite nice and easy because I can just alternate the skeins down the edge, and then obviously when I pick up the button band, it will hide any weirdness. That's the wrong edge. That's not the edge where it's alternating. It's alternating down this edge. That will hide any kind of weirdness from where I've been alternating. So that works really nicely with the cardigan, but I'm loving how this is knitting up. I can tell it's going to be something I wear constantly when it's done, but whenever it's done is going to be goodness knows when. But I'm still trying. I want to be one of these people that can knit like loads and loads of garments and get them off the needles really quick, but I'm really not. I don't know why, but I'm really not. But yeah, that is growing, and I am actually working on it. And then blankets. Now, I have picked up blankets quite a bit recently, and I've been doing little bits here and there on a number of blankets. I won't get them all out. I think what I'll do is in another episode I will probably grab other blankets and share various progress as I go on, because I have got a ridiculous number of blankets on the go at the moment, to the point where it's actually starting to feel slightly overwhelming, the number of projects I've got. And then I actually go to look at my projects and I realise that it's not as bad as it looks, because I've only actually got, those socks on the go. So I've got the sample socks on the go. I've got my Yuletide socks on the go. That's all I've got in the way of socks. I've got my Maymar cardigan, and I've got my Aquamarine jumper. They're both on the go. And then I've got my dragon. And I think that's kind of all I've got cast on that isn't blankets. But I have got like 6 or 7 blankets. So they take up a lot of space and it looks like a lot of projects. But actually, they're all blankets and blankets don't count. So I don't know. Anyway, I have put a fair amount on my new scrappy blanket. This is a corner-to-corner crochet blanket. Whoops! Yeah, this is a corner-to-corner crochet blanket, and I started this in Advent 2020, well, last year. I started this at Advent last year, and I used my Advent swap to do the first part of it. And then I was going to just put it away and use it every year for Advent, but I decided this year I'm not going to take part in the Advent swap because I may have ordered a couple of Advents and also be swapping Advents with a few dyers, so I may be having far too many Advent calendars this year. So I thought I'm not going to join in that one this year. So what I would do instead is start adding my scrappy minis from Laura at The Lonely Knitter, because I've been getting some of her little, I've actually got a couple for Yarny Goodness, but I've been getting some of her little scrappy packs that she does. So they're 5 gram minis, which is perfect, and I've been adding them into this blanket, and I just hold them double with a skein of undyed yarn and just crochet them in, and I love the effect. I love how kind of pastel-y it kind of looks, even though there's some really dark colours in. So since the last time I showed you this, I've come up from that sort of strawberry cupcake that's just there. I've added that, so that's a good kind of 4 inches, 5 inches maybe? I don't know really, something like that. So yeah, coming along. But again, as I said, you know, there's no rush. This is going to be a very long-term project because I'd quite like it to be massive. I've got a lot of Laura's minis to add into it. And I know that when I get to the really long rows in the middle, there's going to become a point where I don't finish a row. I just pick it up and do like 10 minutes and then that's it. So yeah, this is why blankets don't count, because they're always massive undertakings and take a long time. But yeah, I do have a lot of them on the go. So yeah, that's that one. I think that's all of the projects that I was going to share with you. I think that's it. I do have a little bit of Yarny Goodness to talk about. I couldn't decide whether I was going to include Yarny Goodness, and I definitely haven't included all of it because I'm sure there's stuff that's come in over the last few months that I've got kind of put away. But I thought I'd share the few bits that I do have. Excuse the crinkling. I have had, since I last recorded, a few more mini packs from Laura at the Lonely Knitter. So this one is this one is the Only Fools and Horses set. I love the bright colours in that one. That one's really fun. This one is the Firefly set, which has got a little bit mangled in there at the moment. I must have put it in a bag somewhere. They're really, really pretty. And then this one is the Game of Thrones set as well. What I haven't been doing is I haven't been keeping track of which sets I've put in and which sets I haven't put in, because I haven't been keeping track of that. But I will keep an eye out for the next time I open a pack. I will let you know which ones I've started putting in. And then, having also mentioned the Colour Therapy Club, I got the next quarter. I've been getting the Colour Therapy Club quarterly. So I got the next quarter arrived. So that's June. Let's do them in order. So April is yellows. Woo, let's do it that way. There we go. April is yellows. May was greens. And then June is sort of teals and turquoises. So they will get put safely in with the rest of them, ready to add probably in another year's time to add to that blanket. But again, blankets don't count. I also have the last 2 months of the Critical Role, Knitical Roll Yarn Club from Hannah at the Corner of Craft. So there was this one, which I think was July's, which is called Tonight I Bake, which is a reference to Lord Esteros. If I got that right, is it Lord Esteros? I'm sure it is. Right from the beginning of campaign 3, which is really, really pretty. And then I've also got this one, which was August, which is Maybe I'll Write a Song About You, which was a reference to Dorian Storm. I'm questioning myself. It is Dorian Storm. I keep wanting to say Dorian Gray, but that's like the famous picture, isn't it? The classic story of like the story of the tale of the portrait of Dorian Gray. Is that right? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, so that one is absolutely gorgeous as well. I just want to knit all of the yarns that I've got. I want to knit these. I don't want to keep knitting all of the stuff that I've got. I want to cast on all the new things and knit all the new yarn, but I must be sensible and not do that. And then I also got, it was my birthday in July. So it was my birthday and the shop's birthday. The shop turned 5 in July, and I completely failed to mark it in any way because of school holidays and chaos. But I also had a birthday in July, and Tom helped the boys buy me a couple of presents. So they bought me this gorgeous bag from Georgie, the Fibre Fox, which is beautiful. It's massive, it's really good and big, and it's got nice pockets in there as well. So I'm planning on kind of having this as a bit of a moving around the house bag, so I can put like a couple of projects in it, and they quite often live in my office, but then I can take them into the lounge when I need to, and they can just kind of live in here. And they also picked me up a couple of little pom-poms as well, which are super pretty. And I really do want to knit some new hats. I've got so many kind of yarns that I've bought with hats in mind, and I haven't cast on any hats. So I feel like I might just treat myself to a new cast on at some point and cast on a hat. Yeah, I love knitting hats, and I've not knit any in absolutely ages, so I think I might have to do that soon. Right, that is everything, I think. The only thing I wanted to do was talk about a little bit of shop news. So if you've stuck out with me this far, then thank you very, very much. Shop news. There are currently Halloween pre-orders in the shop. I'm sure you've probably seen them all over social media and things like that, but this year I've got my Halloween treat boxes are back. I will pop up, actually, I'll pop up the image just there. So with the treat boxes, you get either 70 grams or 120 gram sock sets. This is the first time I've offered a 70 gram sock set in the treat boxes, but they seem to have been popular elsewhere, so I thought I would give them a go. And I'm also doing, for the first time, it's going to be, the DK is going to be available as sock sets because I'm using a merino nylon DK base. So you can have cozy DK socks. You also get a little progress keeper, a little sort of Halloween themed progress keeper. It will fit in with the theme of the yarn as well. You'll get a sweet treat and a hot chocolate sachet, and then you also get a couple of little Yankee tea light candles. And it all comes in a box. And it's just a little treat box. You know, there's the little extras in there are relatively small, which doesn't make them too expensive, and yeah, I just enjoy putting them together. So they're available for pre-order at the moment. They'll be open, the pre-orders will stay open until I think the 26th of August, and then I'll ship the boxes out in sort of mid-September so that they arrive in plenty of time for Halloween. I'm also offering, for the first time ever, I'm doing a Halloween countdown this year. So it's a 13-day Halloween countdown. You get 13 minis, and our theme this year is kind of creature feature. So all of the different mini skeins are going to be inspired by different creatures and monsters. And I'm going to pop a little information sheet in with each colourway, with a little bit of history about all the kind of the creatures and maybe whatever the film they first appeared in, or kind of the mythical origins of the creature, or kind of whatever I can find kind of history-wise about the creatures. Each one will be wrapped individually and they'll all be numbered, so you can use them as like almost like a Halloween advent, which really doesn't sound right, but you know what I mean, like a countdown towards Halloween, because I think that would be really fun. So yeah, again, they don't have any extras in that one at all. It's just the minis. Really kind of relatively simple. It's available as 10 gram or 20 gram minis, and also available, you can choose whether you want 4-ply or DK. And again, pre-orders are open until the 26th of August, and they'll ship out mid-September as well. So hopefully they should reach you in time to kind of start them mid-October. I have got an option on the shop. If you want to order both the treat box and the countdown, there is an option on the shop which is a combined order to help combine the shipping, because otherwise you'll get charged completely the wrong amount of shipping, and then I have to work it all out and it gets complicated. So I thought I'd just prop up a separate listing which will combine them straight away, and you can order both there. You also get a slight discount, I think, if you order both of them. It's not a lot, but it's just like a little bit of a discount if you order them both. So yeah, that's those ones. And September's clubs, both the Middle Earth Minis Club and the Beatrix Potter Club, that's the one, oh, getting confused now, will be opening, for the pre-orders will open on the 22nd of September. No, the 22nd of August. Is that right? Yeah, the 22nd of August. So that will be September's, and then late September, the final quarter will open up for the October, November, December quarter, basically, I think. That's it. That's it. I'm done. I am out of practice. I am out of steam, and I have lost everything that I was talking about. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the first chaotic podcast back. I will get back into the swing of it, I'm sure. I think I still need to work on my location for recording, because I feel a little bit exposed sat here because I am right by the window. I'm wondering whether actually it might be quite good to set up my chair and studio lights at the back of the office, and you'd have the yarn wall behind me. I need to have a little think about how I could do that. But it's fine. It's fine. Anyway, thank you very much for joining in. Have a little think about your Halloween cast-ons for the Halloween make-along that starts in September, and I will see you again in a couple of weeks' time. Bye!